there was a very famous Mexican soccer player who criticized women's liberation. He says that since women's liberation has taken place, societies have collapsed. The family unit has collapsed. And he said that the women's best talents are at home, nurturing the kids and providing a foundation for the home. And, I tend to agree. I remember when I came into this country from Mexico in 1958, one person sustained the entire household. That was usually the man, usually.
Yeah.
Okay, and the woman stayed home and took care of the kids, and it was a very solid, stable society back then. But since the women were taken out of the home, what has happened? Society has collapsed, especially the family unit. There's nobody there that
That's not true,
provides
Carlos. There has not been a significant reduction in the rate of marriage in the United States. It's down a little bit, but it's like 3 or 4% over the last 30, 40 years. It's just not true, number one. And number two, yeah, there are some women, my mother was one of them, who wanted to be a homemaker and raise a family. And she did. I think she was happy with it. But not all women want to do that. And you shouldn't just say, oh, well, you don't have a penis, therefore this is your job responsibility for the rest of your damn life. There are women who want to be in the workplace, who have things to contribute, who have things to say, things to write, science to things to discover, work to do. Leadership skills, the ability to, look at Nancy Pelosi running Congress. She's probably the most effective Speaker of the House in my lifetime. We should not say, hey, just because you're lacking a penis doesn't mean you can't do this stuff. I mean, that's absurd.
Nowadays, when you come home, in the old days, there used to be the table was set for dinner. Families used to eat together, men and women, and there was a lot of stability. Now you come home from work, none of the parents are home because they're busy working.
I don't know. Maybe you're describing your family, Carlos, but I know a lot of people where both people work, and I'm by the way, I'm a fan of a family being able to be supported by a single family. Ronald Reagan wasn't, of course. The Republicans ended that. When we had 65, 67% of Americans had either a union job or the equivalent of it, 2/3 of Americans had a single breadwinner. That's no longer the case. We just have to acknowledge that. But there's a lot of families where both people work and they get home and they make dinner together, or one or the other of them makes dinner. My family is one of them. I work and Louise works. She works on this show, but we together. Come on, Carlos. You're either you're buying some propaganda or you're living in a weird world. I don't get it.